it's been a good week now since we got a real substantive update on what's going on with this investigation into the stolen documents. And we're waiting for Raymond Dearie to come out with his final report, or whatever leaks from it we'll be able to get. That's probably not more than a couple of weeks away. But there is one little update that I think is interesting. Donald Trump would love it if the DOJ, all these investigators, didn't look at any of these documents. Obviously, that goes without saying. But it turns out that there's 2 folders that he's particularly hot to exclude from the analysis, which seems weird. So he's doing these special privilege assertions over the folders, which appear to have direct relevance to the criminal investigation so far. Okay, so people are saying this is significant. Let's dive into what we know about what's in the folders. Obviously, we don't know all of the text. That's the whole point. He doesn't want us to, but apparently the contents of one red folder, they're marked as containing NARA letters and other copies. A second manila folder is marked as containing NARA letters, 1 top sheet plus 3 signed sheets. So they're letters either to the National Archives or from the National Archives. Okay. He also asserted privilege over 35 pages of documents titled "The President's Calls," as well as a 2017 letter concerning former special counsel Robert Mueller, emails about election fraud lawsuits in Fulton County, Georgia, and deliberations about clemency to a certain MB Ted Sewell and former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. I forgot that he pardoned Blagojevich. That's a throwback. So, Dan, the way I see it, there's a couple of options here. The spicier, more fun version is the idea that there is something in those calls or the communications around the pardons that's very nakedly corrupt. And when it comes to pardons, that's not difficult to imagine. The other is that maybe this stuff actually has, against all odds, the best claim of some sort of personal privilege, that it's not about the government, although it includes pardon stuff. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is, I think I just have back in my headspace about what we learned from the Trump investigations from his administration. Even though we live in a kangaroo court system and we can't actually try a sitting president for anything illegal that they do, and we actually refuse not to do that, we did learn a lot about Trump's criminal sort of behaviors, his patterns, because he's not a guy who changes up the mix very often. He's got we've got a secret formula for our debauchery and crime, and we're gonna stick to the secret formula because we know it works and people know us and enjoy us for it. So I've known him, at least I've observed him in different times to, okay, he'll always move the goalpost from, I have no incriminating information, there's nothing wrong with me, to, by the way, it's my right to do the wrong things and to hide certain incriminating parts of that investigation from the public. And so I feel like, especially because this has to do with, oh my God, Rod Blagojevich. I remember when they were talking about Obama and Chicago style politics and how that was a whole corruption thing. So I wouldn't be surprised. Trump also holds grudges. We see the Mueller thing in there. I wouldn't be surprised if something around these documents has to do with Obama or birth certificate or something to get dirt there, because Trump is, if anything, but a guy who loves his callbacks. But ultimately, I think this is some kind of crime that he's trying to hold back, or at least evidence towards incriminating information that would just create a whole new Pandora's box of issues for him. Which is probably why he's doing, I don't know, maybe there's someone's finally smart in his legal team who's decided to hold back and say, maybe Don, let's see what we could do to not show that, because this is pretty bad, but that's really bad. Let's not show him that, please.
Yeah, you're totally right about the about the throwbacks. Even pardoning Blagojevich is such a weird throwback when he did it. Like he's not content to just do like Republican corruption. He also does the corruption that in theory we should get from a Democratic president, like pardoning Blagojevich, why? But you're totally right. And we'll see if we end up, when Raymond Dearie finalizes this thing, if we find out what's in these documents. I feel like at this point, there is an almost perfect 50-50 chance that if we were to be able to read these, it would be the most scandalous stuff we've ever seen, or I would literally fall asleep halfway through. But maybe we'll see. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.